Afternoon. Just give me a sec.
Hello.
I'm on a call. I'll come back.
Ma'am, Nivedita ma'am and Neelima ma'am, did you receive the judgment sheet for seniors?
Yeah, I have received. I have received.
Yeah. Okay. I've just sent through mail. Yeah. Okay, we
Chandan,
are
we
on
are
line,
already
ma'am.
online.
Yes, ma'am.
The COVID-19 outbreak has changed the teaching learning process overnight completely.
Yes.
Lockdown, remote learning, as well as assessment through online platforms. Over the last 9 months, educators had been exploring various ways to assess the child's learning. The implementation of assessment for learning enables the educator to evaluate students continuously when they demonstrate their knowledge and skills during the instruction. This is one to make learning more exciting and to increase meaningful outcomes. Through the pandemic, we realized that developing scientific knowledge, creativity, and habits of mind among students for questioning and learning about life, world phenomena can better facilitated when we transfer the agency of learning to students. Involving students in authentic experiences based on inquiry based learning, such as problem solving and investigations, we found that students preferred activities that involve hands on activities in which they are encouraged to present their findings. Activities that involve real life situations and channel students' experiences, enhance learning, and develop their communication skill. Effective oral communication through alternative activities provides students with social, emotional, and interpersonal skills needed in the 21st century and are the top soft skill attributes needed by employers in today's workplace. Increase student engagement in developing youth adult partnership in learning to ensure that each and every student has the skill, self confidence, and opportunities to assume meaningful role in shaping their learning and their lives is our mission at Capstone High. We envision a time when our students will take responsibility of their learning in collaborating with adults to reach their goals. This we can do by unleashing the power of partnership for learning, as we will be witnessing today's Cap Sci-Fi Senior, where our grade 6 to 9 students will be sharing their scientific learning through the design thinking process. Good afternoon, Mr. Shabazz, Ms. Fatma, our esteemed judges, Ms. Nilima, Ms. Nivedita, and Mr. Brajesh Patel, parents, teachers, my dear students, for your presence here today. I'm Ratna Ghosh, head of Capstone High, and I take this opportunity to welcome you all to our online senior science competition, Cap Sci-Fi 2020. Here, 10 of our young finalists from grade 6 to 8 will share their scientific inquiry to provide easy solutions to real life, day to day problems. Today, we are in a situation where we meet challenges every day. We need to guide our children to develop critical skills, to take life's challenges and uncertainties in their stride, to face life with confidence like never before, and help them build their competencies. In our session today, our students will be presenting their projects and interacting with our panel of judges, Mrs. Nilima Mida, Ms. Nivedita Mukherjee, and Mr. Brajesh Patel. Ms. Nilima is a senior partner and educational consultant with Televerge and also a product owner of UVPAPE platform, helping children in STEM and innovation-based learning. Ms. Nilima is an IMB graduate with 18 years experience in the corporate field in the area of sales and operations in organizations like Tata, Airtel, Ericsson, IMB, CMRIT, and is currently with Televerge. At Tata's, she was part of the core team who were responsible for bringing Tata Sky to India, starting Chroma, and making Westside a success pan-India. She was the placement director at CMRIT and also teaching MBA students during her tenure there. She was responsible to scout for exciting and enduring job opportunities for young, fresh engineering graduates to start a new life, which can create their own life, and guided her son, who recently qualified in the NEET, to join the medical course. We also thank Ms. Nilima and Televerge for sponsoring the prizes of today's competition along with Oxford University Press. Ms. Nivedita has been a research scientist, followed by a career in television and print as news journalist and editor in Doordarshan, Zee, and CNBC for 15 years before switching over to starting a chain of international preschools leading to a K-12 IB World School. She has been a strategic advisor for setting up higher education institutions and universities. Currently, she is an education advisor and mentor to leadership team of K-12 schools, higher education institutions, and edtech startups. We are lucky to have Ms. Nivedita as our academic advisor with us at Capstone High. Mr. Brajesh Patel is one of our most supportive parents. Mr. Patel holds an engineering degree in electronics and telecommunication from Jabalpur, Madhya Pradesh. He has a master's degree from IISc Bangalore and is currently working in Nokia on 5G technology. We welcome you, Ms. Nilima, Ms. Nivedita, and Mr. Patel to our session today. Today's session will be moderated by my colleague, Dr. Chandan, who is heading our science team. Request Dr. Chandan to guide us through today's presentation. I also extend my best wishes to all our participating students. Dr. Chandan, over to you.
I think Dr. Chandan is on mute.
Dr. Chandan, you seems to be on mute.
So thank you, Dr. Ratna Ghosh, and I extend my warm welcome to our judges and my fellow students and all the viewers who are here. So I would like to share my screen and just explain the journey of Cap Sci-Fi. So Cap Sci-Fi, basically it's an inter-school science annual event. So why Cap Sci-Fi? It basically to showcase the scientific skill in young minds, apply classroom learning to solve day-to-day issues, motivate children to take up science stream in the future. So Cap Sci-Fi was started in 2018. It is an inter-school event. In the first year, we had more than 25 teams from across Bangalore who had taken part. So in that event, we had bagged first prize, Capstone had bagged first prize, followed by NPS and Dean's Academy. For this event, we had invited the experts from science and technology and from research industries. So here are the few glimpses of the photograph of 2018-19 Cap Sci-Fi. You can see the students interacting with the parents, and you can see our teachers, and you can see that in the students' eyes that excitement and enthusiasm to demonstrate their models. So in 2019, it was an intra-school event. The first place was backed by Pawan, second place by Misha, and third place by Hardik. So here are the few photographs to showcase those event of 2019. And this year, Cap Sci-Fi 2020, it's basically done on two different streams, that is Junior Cap Sci-Fi and Senior Cap Sci-Fi. Junior Cap Sci-Fi, the topic is I am a scientist and my invention is. The eligibility for Junior Cap Sci-Fi is from grade 3 to grade 5. For eligibility for Senior Cap Sci-Fi is grade 6 to grade 9, and the topic is science in day-to-day life. So with the Junior Cap Sci-Fi, where the final event happened on yesterday, so there were three rounds. The first round where the students were informed to record a 3 minutes video of their invention and to be uploaded in the Google Classroom. So this round was judged by our head of school by science department. So and 35 students were shortlisted for the second round. For the second round, we had panelists from our school parent community, and out of 35 students, 15 students were shortlisted. This 15 students, out of these 15 students, 10 students are shortlisted to finals, and we had yesterday this event. In seniors category 5, also the event also took place in a similar manner. In the first round, 34 students had taken part. In this 34 students, again, this entire first round was basically shortlisted by our science department along with our head of school. Out of 34 students, 13 students were shortlisted for second round. For the second round, we are invited our parents to be the judge of panelists. Out of these 13 students, 10 students have been shortlisted for today's event. That is a grand finale of Cap Sci-Fi Seniors 2020. So here we have our three judges, Miss Nivedita, Miss Nilima, and Mr. Rajesh Patel. He is a father of a great 10, our Hardik. So we would like to thank our sponsors. We appreciate and acknowledge your contribution for the success of Cap Sci-Fi. So here, okay, now I will straight away call upon our students to start this. So let's see what our young minds have got to exhibit. So now I would like to call upon Tanushri to present our model sensor dustbin. Isn't that sounds interesting? Yes, it is. This model is beneficial in fighting against the pandemic COVID-19 because this helps in carefree waste management because there is no need to touch this dustbin to throw the trash. Over to you, Tanushri.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon to one and all present here. This is Tanushri Vaigada from grade 6A. Now, I would like to present my screen. The topic I have chosen for Cap Sci-Fi is sensor dustbin. So I followed the design thinking process. So the first question will come: why? Why did I choose this model to do? Due to the present pandemic, that is COVID-19, we should be very careful in managing garbage. Even by a single touch, COVID-19 can be spread. So, after brainstorming, I came up with an idea of preparing a model of sensor dustbin. So, the next question is, what is a dustbin? A dustbin is a small plastic containers that are used to store trash in a temporary basis. They are often used in homes, office, street, park to collect the waste. So, how did I do this? I used Uno board, ultrasonic sensor, servo motor, jump wires, 9 volts battery, and a dustbin to make this model. These are the images of the things that I used to make it. So what is my design methodology? First, I connected the servo motor and the sensor to the Uno board, and these are connected to the battery to get the power. Then I made 2 holes in front of the plastic dustbin and placed the sensor in that hole. And then I placed all these connected circuits into the dustbin, and this is how it looks after all the connection. These are some images of my working model. So how did I collect my data? I gathered information by interacting with my neighbors, and I used these websites for my reference. Analyzing the data. I prepared two questions for my questionnaire. The first question was why sensor dustbin is required. The options were it's a carefree mode of throwing waste, does not make the ground dirty, it's cleaner, safer, and hygienic. In that, 70% of them said cleaner, safer, and more hygienic, and 15% of them said it doesn't allow to make the ground dirty, and other 15% said carefree mode of throwing waste. The second question was how is the working of my sensor dustbin? The options were good, satisfied, not satisfied. In that, 90% of them said good and 10% of them said satisfied. So, what are the benefits of sensor dustbin in daily life? It helps in waste management. It is ideal in places like parks, office, school, airports, railway station, etc. It creates a cleaner, safer, and more hygienic environment. It reduces cost, roadside emissions, etc. It doesn't allow the dust to collect on the ground. The people will become disease free. It makes the ecosystem clean. And the main thing is that it makes us proud. After effects of not using dustbins, bacteria and insects are thrown from the garbage. Overflowing waste causes air pollution and respiratory diseases. Garbage contaminates surface waters, which affects all the ecosystems. Overflowing waste exposes for health risks. So my interpretation is that from my analysis, I found that people are very much satisfied with my sensor dustbin and it is very useful in this pandemic, that is COVID-19, because there is no direct contact of humans with the dustbin while throwing the trash into that. Now, I would like to switch to the experiment mode. So this is my sensor dustbin and the sensor is in the front of the dustbin and the motor is on top of the dustbin. And inside I have kept the Uno board and the battery to get the power. Now I'll take the trash and go near the dustbin. It will automatically open by itself and so we can throw the trash into that. And it will automatically closes by itself. To conclude, I think sensor dustbin is very beneficial in fighting against this pandemic, that is COVID-19. This will definitely protect us from the germs, which is the need of the day. I suggest the government to take up this project of manufacturing the low-cost sensor dustbin and distribute it to each and every family and even install it in street, office, park, school, mall, etc. This will at least lessen the amount of COVID-19. Thank you.
Wow, that was interesting. Then let's see what are a few questions to ask you. Over to you, Mr. Rajesh Patel.
Yeah, hello. Hello, Tanushri. First of all, I am very impressed with your presentation and the
Thank you,
original
sir.
idea you have put in this current situation that many times we have to use the dustbin and then without touching it is not possible. Now, with this touchless sensor-based dustbin, it is like very safe for the end user as well as for the environment as well. So very very good, Tanusri. And I have one question. Maybe have you also thought, because there is a need to separate biodegradable and non-biodegradable waste. So can this sensor be somehow, let's say, enhanced so that it accepts like either biodegradable or non-biodegradable waste. So maybe could be, let's say, have you thought about it?
Yes, sir. I have made for biodegradable. Maybe we have to make in the other way. We have to put some plastic into that because it doesn't get. Maybe the advanced technology make that.
Yes, I think with the little modification of the sensor program, I think it should be possible so that it can identify the plastic or yeah. So I think that there is room for improvement, but yes. Very good. Let's say science project from you. Thank you, Tanusri.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Over to Miss Nilima. I would request you to ask few questions to Tanushri.
Hi, Tanushri.
Hi, ma'am.
Really impressive and something which is so useful for every day and everybody, especially in this pandemic situation. Lot of congratulations to you that you have taken a real life problem.
Thank you, ma'am.
If I have to buy that, how much will you sell me for?
Ma'am, it's for 500. I took the sensor, motor, and the battery and Uno board for 500 rupees.
Wow, that's amazing. I think that's an amazing business model that you'll be coming up with. So, are you going to recommend that school installs your dustbins in every classroom once the school reopens?
Yes, ma'am.
That's amazing. That's really good. So, your principal should really take a look at it. So, is your mom using this?
Yes,
Your
ma'am.
She is
Yes,
very
ma'am.
good. That's amazing. I only have one question. I think the top layer that you have used, the top of your dustbin, is that a thermocol that you have used?
Yes, ma'am. I used to show that, ma'am, but if we want to make it in a real way, we have to make it with a plastic.
Okay. So can we also use metal if we want to?
Yes, ma'am, but we need more battery for
Okay.
that.
So you mean to say that the heavier the metal that we put on the top, we need a bigger battery to sustain it.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay,
More
awesome.
powerful.
Very good. Awesome. Thank you so much, Tanushri. All the best with your project.
Thank you, ma'am.
Over to you, Miss Nivedita now.
Thank you, Tanushri. It was good fun watching it. I was just trying to imagine that if it is put in the park and if children are walking past and people are walking past, will the dustbin keep on opening and closing and opening and closing?
Yes,
Because it is
ma'am, but we have to go near that. Like
right,
I have used a small sensor, so it takes about 10 centimeter far. We have to go to put the trash. If we
right.
use bigger sensor, it will be 1 meter or as much as long.
Yeah. So what will happen is the bin will keep on opening and closing. Can you imagine where you can put the sensor where it opens and closes only when a hand comes to put garbage in that bin? Can
Ma'am,
you?
we can keep it on the top.
Ah, very well thought. Good thinking, Tanushri. So
Thank you.
actually, I have seen in the airports there is a top sensor on the bin, so that only when the hand goes up, it accepts. And in the parks, they have sensors which are solar charged, because otherwise if the battery finishes, then somebody has to go around replacing battery of all the you know all the bins that are available in the park. So they have put a little solar sensor batteries. What do you think of position and renewable batteries? How does that
Yes,
add to the idea of?
by
Yeah.
using the solar energy, it's better.
So maybe you could think of a solar cell,
Yes,
and
ma'am.
making another version of your project.
Yes, ma'am.
What do you say?
Yeah, ma'am.
I like the way you have collected data on how your product is. I like the fact that all your neighbors and everybody got involved in giving you responses, and you have taken the feedback to improve your product. Well done, Tanushri. Good design thinking.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, judges. Definitely, we will implement your suggestions to add on to the existing model. Wow, that was very interesting and useful sense assessment designed by Tanushri. Let's see what we have got from the next candidate, Samriddhi. Now I will invite Samriddhi to present her model, handmade water purifier. Wow, handmade water purifier? Let's see what it is. It helps the people in remote areas and village to access easily the clean water without electricity. It would be very useful and also be environmental friendly. Okay, over to you, Samriddhi. Samriddhi, you can start, Samriddhi.
Yes, sir. Please confirm my screen. Hello, everybody. I am Samriddhi Srivastava from grade 6B. I have taken the topic as handmade water purifier for Cap Sci-fi. The very first topic I want to tell you about is lack or not surveyed. People like security guards and many household staff told that they had a severe scarcity of clean water in their area. Many cities like Bengaluru, Hyderabad, Nashik, Jaipur, Ahmedabad, and Indore have high possibility to run out of clean water in the next few years. When we install an RO purifier, there are 14,700 villages without electricity, 25 million homes without electricity, and most importantly, there are 200 million people without electricity. Industrial purposes, 19% is used for industrial purposes, and we get only 11% of the water. So I have a simple solution to resolve this problem by making a handmade water. So I have taken cotton, charcoal, and sand. Here I have taken a tank. So this container will this container has holes at the bottom. So first I'll take cotton and fill it. So I have filled with cotton. Now I will fill it up with sand. I have filled it up with sand. Now I'll take the other container and fill it up with charcoal. filled it up with charcoal. Now I will put dirty water. You can see this. So it will take some time for it to purify this water. I will switch to actual charcoal and sand and make holes at the bottom. Then fix the other tank and we can collect clean water. So the water which we got, that water can be used for bathing, for washing clothes, for washing utensils. We can also make it drinking water by boiling it. So if we I have already made one mini model. You can see that the clean water was dripping down from here. You can see so much of clean water is collected in this. So I think that it will help the people living in these areas, and I hope
Okay,
you
I
enjoy.
feel there might be. Yeah, I
And
think
thank
there is
you.
some technical glitches with some with some now. Okay, let me see what our judges have some questions to you, Samriddhi. Over to you, Mr. Rajesh Patel.
Yeah, hello Samriddhi. Yeah, very very nice concept and very nice idea. Although there were bit of technical glitches in hearing your voice very clearly, but
Hello,
I think we have understood the whole idea. Uh, so yes, it's a very nice idea, and I think it will help the people in rural India where there is scarcity of electricity. Electricity is not there many hours per day. So I think it's a, let's say, cheap and effective way to let's say clean water. So my one question here is, do you think this process will also kill bacteria, and what improvement can you do to also make it workable, because now these bacteria cause many diseases. So because I think you,
actually the
yeah.
water which we get purified so that the bacteria can get killed. Through this process, we can't kill bacteria, but if we boil, the bacteria can be killed.
Okay, yes, very nice. Yes, so because in this process, even if we filter water, but we have to boil the water in order bacteria to be killed. Yes, very good. Okay.
Okay, over to you, Mr. Sunil.
Hi, Samriddhi.
Hello, ma'am.
Very nice concept. If we want to think in a large scale, and if we want to purify water in a larger scale, can we use the same concept?
We take tanks, bigger tanks, and fill it in the same way. We prefer to use large copper tanks that can be much more healthier for drinking. So that can help.
Okay. Do you think water harvesting also uses the same kind of technique? Have you studied that?
In water yes, ma'am. So in water harvesting, you can collect clear water or clean water, but as I said, you need to boil and first clean it
Yes.
properly, and then you can you can use that water in order to drink.
Very, very good. Thank you so much, Samruddhi. Extremely, I mean, you have addressed a very, very important problem. There was a study which said that in the next 20 years, we would be spending 50% of our earnings only to buy water. So you are addressing a very, very important problem. Thank you so much for addressing such an important problem, Samruddhi.
Over to you, Ms. Nivedita.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Samriddhi, um, a small question which I'm sure you know exactly how I've done, but I want to learn from you. Um, when you make this model, what is happening at every stage? I think I missed that bit. What is the role of each of the components?
Immiscible molecules can be captured and the clean water can pass through them.
Somebody, ma'am is trying to ask
Sorry.
what is the role of each stage, the components in your model. What is the role of each component in your model?
Sorry, sir, your voice was breaking. I could not hear you properly.
I think there's some technical issue, and I think there is some background sound which is coming from someone. So I think with
Can you mute your mic? Once you're answering, can you turn on your mic on? Samriddhi?
yeah, Samriddhi, I was curious to know what each of your layers, okay, each of the layers of your container, what are what are they doing? How are they functioning?
So, sand grabs the particles which are not like mud and those things captured or get stuck in sand. Then charcoal purifies the water if any dirt is left in that water. This is
So do you think anyway this can be used to manage ocean water? What can you make adjustment to this to your project, that we can take some water from ocean also, because we have so much of ocean and we have so little drinking water possibility. So is there a possibility you can modify this?
in order to take salt water or seawater, we actually need to boil and evaporation take place in order to get clean water. So first, you may need to so evaporation if you do, there might be some changes.
I got the point. I think there's some good thinking going around there, despite the despite missing her sentences. I think I get what she's explaining. Well, yeah.
Samriddhi, you mean to say distillation, right?
Good thinking. Okay, okay, Dr. Chandan, we'll move on because I think we have some technical issues
Yes.
over there.
Okay. So it was a great design, Samriddhi. It will. It is very necessary for each one of us to have, as one of us just said in another 20 years, what are earnings, more than 50% we need to spend on drinking water. Definitely, if you can modify and keep it, definitely, I think you will have a bright future. So now let's move on. Let's move on to next candidate, that is wine. Wine has basically made a model using ultrasonic sensor, which measures distance. This is one of the main components that has been used in this car. Over to you, I think.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Ryan and I'm studying grades. I'm here to present my model for Cap Scifi. So, has anybody here heard about ultrasonic sensor? If you haven't, it's your lucky day because my project is based on ultrasonic sensor. So, what is this ultrasonic sensor? Ultrasonic sensor is a technology which lets us know the distance between two objects. Paul Langevin was the first man to make this ultrasonic sensor. Now I would like to switch to my presentational mode. Is my screen visible? So this is Paul Langevin. The main point for building this puzzle was for cars. When the driver is taking reverse parking, they might not know what is the obstacle behind them. So I made this project to help them. Now I would like to switch to my experimental mode. The materials I've used to build this project are this Arduino board, a ultrasonic sensor, and this cable connected to my laptop to send the codes from it. So my sensor has two main parts, the transmitter and the receiver. The transmitter sends the rays and the receiver receives it to know the distance between two objects. So I would like to again switch to my presentational mode. So let's run this model to know if it works. As you can see here, it is already showing the distance between this obstacle and the car. So imagine the car over here as the real car and this obstacle as the wall. So when the driver is taking reverse parking, this board will show the driver how much distance is left from the obstacle and the car. So as the driver keeps on taking reverse parking, the distance in the board decreases. So when it's the most less distance, the driver will know when to stop. Now I would like to switch to my experimental mode. So this is my part. This is my first part of my project. So let's go to the second part. So this is a empty glass. I'm removing the sensor to use it here. Now This is a glass filled with water. So my assistant here is going to help me pour the water. So I'm making this project as a water tank as well as a car use. So as my assistant keeps on pouring the water, as you can see here, the sorry, I would like to again switch to my presentation mode. So as you can see here, my assistant is pouring the water into the cup. As you can see in the board, the distance has decreased from the water and the sensor. So as my assistant keeps on pouring the water, the distance keeps on decreasing. So this can also be used in the water tank. So we'll know the correct time to off it. So this is my model. I hope you liked it. Thank you.
Okay. That's interesting, Mike. Let us now follow up on Mr. Rajesh to ask you a few questions regarding the model. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, hello Wahin.
Hello, sir.
Yeah, so very nice project, and I think yeah, it was the most practical project. So you have so all this coding you have done only, or
Sir, I had brought this
because
kid
I saw also
from
some lines
I,
of code
I
on
had
the.
brought this kid from outside. They had like given us files for all the code, so we are running it from that, sir.
Okay. And do you know what is the maximum distance it can
Sir,
measure? As you
it
told,
can
it
measure
is
up to
used
kilometers also,
to.
sir.
Okay, okay, that's very good. Yeah. Okay, thank you, Wahin.
Over to you,
You're
Ms.
welcome, sir.
Renuka.
Hi, Vahin.
Hi, ma'am.
So, where did you take the inspiration of this particular project?
Ma'am, I in most of the places and uses and all I've heard like when people are taking reverse parking, all the accidents are being caused. So I made this, ma'am.
Okay, all right. So, you have taken a ready-made project, is it? I mean, you got the
No, ma'am.
kit.
Like
Uh, you got the
yes, ma'am,
kit.
and we built it on our own, ma'am.
Okay. So, do you know? I mean, you got the code, but did you understand the code on which language they have built, or did they give you any kind of such material to read?
Ma'am, they gave a material for us for all the codes and all, ma'am. That's all.
Okay, you did not
And
go
also to
through that.
understand this circuits and all.
Okay,
Yes,
fine,
ma'am.
fair enough. Okay, was it interesting building the model?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, awesome. So we can see I mean, you would be fixing something like this in your father's car and your mother's car.
Yes, ma'am.
Good, great. Once you do that, maybe send in a picture to us.
Okay, ma'am.
Thank you.
Over to you, Ms. Sumaira.
Hi, Vahin. Did you
Hi,
enjoy
ma'am.
putting together the code? Did you like the activity?
Yes, ma'am. I liked it.
Yeah. So do you think you can use this same code and material to maybe modify the code and use it for something else?
Yes, ma'am. Like we can add like a LCD for it, so it can show in a display instead of showing in the computer.
It can show in the display,
Yes, ma'am.
uh, in the like a rear view kind of a situation.
Yes, ma'am. Like nowadays, all the touchable cars are there, no, ma'am. So, like
Right,
if it's connected to, it can show the distance in the screen.
right. Can you build a toy or a game with this?
No, ma'am, not. I'm not sure of that all.
You've built this, they gave you some code and you built this. You think about it, you have enjoyed doing this project and you are successful in making this project. Maybe you can think of how you can use it to play with it. Since you can't go out much and you can't drive the car, you can figure out how you can play with it at home. Do you know how these kind of sensors are used in moving materials around the home?
Ma'am, in home I don't know, ma'am, but for defense from the enemies or all, I know, ma'am.
Have you heard of the robo vacuum cleaners, or have you seen them somewhere?
Ma'am, I've heard about it, ma'am.
The little round wheel kind of robotic vacuum cleaners.
Yes, ma'am.
I have a feeling they use the same kind of sensors. How about you check that out? Maybe you can make another project
Yes,
with the
ma'am.
same materials. With the same
Okay,
material,
ma'am.
you can, huh? Think about it and
Okay, ma'am.
tell Chandan sir what you did about it. Since you already have the material and the code and everything.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you for sharing.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you, Tejas. I think why needs to visit Indranagar. There is a restaurant which has got where the servers are basically robots. It is one of the kind first introduced in India that is in Bangalore. I think if Wine visits that restaurant, he will be very much, he can connect this project with that the robots which basically acting like a server. Yes, fine. That's a very interesting thing you need to look onto it. Now let us see what Ananya has got. So now I'll invite Ananya Mohan to present her model, Pro Green. It is a kit which consists of projector, speakers, and screen. This kit prevents the strain that we put while focusing on the screen as it glare free. This helps us to avoid e-waste in our environment. Over to you, Ananya.
Thank you, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. Today I'm here to introduce a new product, Pro Green. Now I'd like to switch over to the presentation mode. What is a Pro Green? A Pro Green is a green projector with a screen and a speaker. So now you would be wondering what makes it so different from the regular projectors that we see in our day-to-day life. Let's see. Turning the pages back in the history of computers, first man developed huge and heavy computers. Then came the PCs, smaller in size, and then the cell phones, which were even smaller. So, as we further went in the computer field, we faced two main issues: eye strain and e waste. So, for eye strain, we found again a new device called projectors. But at that time, we always forgot about our Earth. And so, for that, we are introducing the cost effective green projector along with screen and speaker. Now, let's see how it is different and unique from any other projector. Firstly, it weighs less than the other projectors. It is also economical and recyclable. It is user friendly as it contains no complex machines and does not require any repair work. Data collection and analysis. Now, as we claimed that it costs less, let us see how the cost varies. So, this is a graph that represents the cost of our product and the cost of the company product. The regular projector costs minimum around 5,000 rupees, but our product costs less than 500 rupees only. See the difference? Interpretation. Now you might be thinking how this happens. This is because it only requires a carton, a bottle, an A4 sheet, a magnifying glass, a ribbon, and a glue. Design and methodology. How we made this? The method of making it is that a hole is made in the cardboard box and a magnifying glass is fixed to it. Then a stand is made and a phone is fixed to it with the middle piece or the speaker of the phone toe fixed to this as the speaker. Finally, a screen is made and the whole box is made presentable. Now I would like to switch over to the other mode to show you the working of my model. So this is my model. Interior of model. So it consists of a stand. It also has a screen and a speaker in it.
Sorry to disturb. Ananya, you're on mute.
Yeah, at least not able to hear Ananya. Or maybe Chandan sir, if you can ask Ananya to unmute, or maybe in the chat message.
Ananya, am I audible to you, Ananya? Ananya, am I audible to you? You are on mute.
Yes, sir, you are audible to me.
You are actually muted and you are explaining. Can you explain it again?
Yes, sir. So this is the model. Now taking a look into the interior of this model, we find a stand inside this. We also see the speaker and a screen along with this. So firstly, I'm going to take this phone upside down and I'm going to fix the speaker into this. Next, I'm going to place this phone on the stand. Now let's see how it projects the image. So now as you can see, we can see the image which was on the phone into the screen very clearly. Now I would like to say the uses of this model. let's look at some of its uses. It is useful for the kids who love cartoons and who are always in front of the phones. We know how much today's kids are addicted to the cartoons that they watch. This can also be a good product to watch movies.
Ananya
This
screen is
product can
not
also
visible.
be useful by the students during this pandemic time as long as they are going for non interactive classes.
Ananya screen is not visible, Ananya. Can you please present it?
So actually, there are a few technical issues, and because of that, I guess I lost the internet connection in my laptop, so I'm unable to connect that.
Okay, can you turn on your camera and at least explain?
Yes, yes. This product can also be useful by the students during the pandemic time as long as they are going for non-interactive classes. So before concluding, I would like to say that let's all join our hands to save the earth. Save earth, go green, save earth, save lives. Hope you liked our new product.
Okay, over to judges. I would request Ms. Nivedita ma'am to ask few questions to Ananya.
Hi, Ananya.
Yes, ma'am.
That must have been fun making,
Yes, ma'am.
right?
Surely it was great fun.
What did you watch on it first?
Ma'am, actually, I watched during the testing time, I watched like several movies and I actually kept it on the wall and tried different movies and like other kind of videos watching on it.
Ah, looks like you're all set for some birthday party now. I like the use of simple materials. I quite enjoyed the fact that you have handcrafted the whole thing. And I was wondering, how can you add similarly a sound equipment to it so that you have with big picture you have loud sound? Is it a possibility?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, the speaker that I have kept along with it, it extends like it increases the sound up to a limit.
Hmm. Can you make a contraption which will enhance the sound?
Yes, ma'am. Maybe like if we have more complex items to build on it, we might be able to do so.
Sounds good. All the best. Go ahead. Watch on. Maybe you can have a class party soon.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to Miss Nilima.
Hey Ananya, that was fun. I think you should have made this model before the IPL hit. IPL had come in. I think lot of boys and lot of men would have appreciated your idea, who were missing all the fun outside
Yes,
home,
ma'am. And ma'am, even like if
right?
we would like, we can carry it around anywhere like where we want.
So true, so true. So yeah, I again like something which you have used, the reusable things, and then you have made it all by hand and so practical. So that's something which I really want to appreciate you for. And yeah, let me know any other use that you can probably think of other than just projecting the screen. Can you just think of something else with the same model?
Ma'am, like maybe basically if we want to give a better feel of watching movies, like maybe we can include better speakers in it.
I'm wanting you to move away from movies and screen, and can we look at some other solutions, some other uses of this particular model?
Ma'am, basically this model it replaces projectors. So now maybe if we will think further to it, we can try replacing even more things using the same model.
All right. Okay, Ananya, that's a lovely thing. I think lot of your friends will want to have one of that and order as soon as possible. All the best to you.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Nilima. Over to you, Mr. Patel.
Yeah, hello Ananya. First of all, yeah, it was very original idea, very creative, and you have demonstrated it very well. So I'm really impressed with your project. The only one question I have is that, as you know, nowadays the screens are coming like Full HD and Ultra HD, so they are improving the quality every day. So how in your project you can plan matching the same quality with this kind of pro green screen? So have you thought anything about it?
Yes, sir. Actually, I've like while we are going for this idea, my idea was just to make the simplest of the projectors. Like now, for us, if we just simply want to watch a movie, we actually does not require so many of the HD or those kinds of things. But if we are like moving a little bit further into it, we can keep those kinds of screens because here I have used a normal like a normal sheet of paper or like a cloth as a screen or maybe the walls. But if we want to give a better experience of watching movies, we can obviously keep the related items to it, or like we can add other settings or items or like maybe machines to it.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Yeah, anyway, very nice project, and thanks.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, judges. That's a great idea, Ananya. Now, in this pandemic situation, it's a very necessary for everyone, especially for students, to have one. Thank you, Ananya. Now, I invite Edwin to present his model light sensor. It is basically built on LDR based light sensor. It can be used in emergency light when the power is basically out. Over to you, Edwin.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And I'll start presenting now. Sir, is it visible?
Not yet.
Actually, my presentation is backstage, so if possible, can someone bring it front?
Have you logged in with two devices?
Yes, yeah, yes, sir. I'll.
Miss Sanheli, can you please look into it? Can you get Edwin second camera onto the front stage?
Actually, no, sir, not that. But I'm presenting with this device. But what's happening is that my presentation is backstage. I don't know how. I am on the screen, but my presentation is backstage, sir. I don't know what's
You share
happening.
your screen. You share your screen, Edwin. Share your screen.
Yes, sir. I'm trying one more time. Sir, again, sir, the presentation is still backstage, sir. Someone has to let it on um, the stage to for it to appear. Yes, sir. Thank you. My project is an LDR-based light that switches on in the dark and turns off when there is light. The components I use for this project are resistors, LED, LDR, and transistor. Why I chose this project? According to a survey conducted in 2018, 66% of electricity is wasted. That means that electricity worth $500 billion is wasted worldwide. It will act as an emergency light. My project will act as an emergency light in a power outage, and it can also be an automatic torch that turns on when it is dark. It is now it is used to make street lights that turn on automatically, and it is also used to make headlights in cars. I considered attaching to an adapter instead of a battery, but that meant that the torch would not turn on when there is a power cut, which was one of the main functions of the machine. I also considered making it chargeable, but I couldn't get the resources. I think making it chargeable would still be better. Now I'll explain how the project works. Resistor. Resistors are used to control current flow and to divide voltages. LED. LED is a light emitting diode. It's a diode that emits light when it receives an electric current. LDR. LDR is a light dependent resistor. The resistance of the LDR will increase as the level of light decreases. The transistor has three terminals. If the base receives electricity, then the flow of electricity between the collector and the emitter will increase. This is the circuit that I used for making my project. When there is light, the LDR will let the current to pass through, so very little current will go to the base. That means that the electricity cannot flow from C to E, and so the bulb will not glow. When it is dark, the LDR will block all the current, so more current will go to the base, and that means that electricity can freely flow from C to E. So the bulb will glow. How I made it. These images are showing how the process of making the project, and now I'll show you my journal. Conclusion. This project is just one of many ways of saving electricity. Small changes like this, if done all over the world, and it can make a big difference in the long term. Thank you. Now I would like to switch to experimentation mode. This is the project that I made. Now I'll just switch off the light and I'll show you it working. As you can see, the light turns on when it's dark, and when I turn the light on back, it'll turn off. I hope you enjoyed and found this informative.
Thank you, Edwin. Now let us see what our judges have some questions for you. Over to you, Miss Nilima.
Hey Edwin,
Hello, ma'am.
this is my topic. This is my pet topic. So I was like extremely interested when you're presenting me the entire working model and everything. So I have a similar question what Nivedita asked
Yes,
one
ma'am.
of your friends. Can we replace the battery with the solar
Yes, ma'am.
panel?
It is definitely possible. You can make it all renewable also. But for the purpose of just making the project, I have used a battery.
Absolutely. So I think a lot of streetlight problem can be solved with the similar model and a solar panel.
Yes, ma'am.
So you are a rich man in few years, aren't you? I think you can take, I think you can take this business model and a lot of big real estate agents and government offices and all of them you can really put this model out there.
Okay, ma'am. I'll see to that.
All right. All right. Now, can you let me know, can we think one step ahead and can we say that where else can we use this model apart from just the lights?
Ma'am, actually, I actually didn't think about that. Where else the LDR can be used?
Mm-hmm.
Because, um, ma'am, darkness is not related to anything else but light. So I don't know.
Light is everywhere, darkness is everywhere, and they are like two sides of the coin. So,
Ma'am, I don't know about that. Thank you.
okay, no problem. Just think about it. I'm sure you'll come up with something amazing and something that you must have not really thought about it. I'll be waiting for that answer. I'm sure that you're capable of that. So just think about it and write to me. Chandan has my mail ID. So think about it. Take your time and write to me about it. Right?
Okay, ma'am. I'll do
Sure.
that.
Thank
Yes,
you.
ma'am.
Okay, well, definitely we'll be awaiting for your reply to that so that we can just send it to Ms. Nirima. Thank you, ma'am. Over to Mr. Patel.
Yeah, hello Edwin.
Hello, sir.
So very nice working model, and yes, very useful for this kind of project like street lights, which can automatically switch on and off. So one question I have: so have you also tried to understand like how the LED it emits the light when electricity is passed? So what is behind it? So basically the basic principles, and similarly for the LDR. So like dependent resistor. So basically, when the light falls on it, the resistance drops. So there is something magical property in those things. So have you tried to understand the science behind it?
For the light bulbs, the filament, when it gets heated, it will start glowing. For the LDR, there's um, some element on it that actually detects when it's dark. So actually, the element is actually used in the LDR. So because of that, the electricity will be passed on.
Okay, yeah, very nice. So I think yeah, you can try to let's
Actually,
say gain
I
more.
forgot to. I forgot the name of the element. So
Okay, no, not an issue. So I think you can try to, let's say, gain more knowledge about the basic principles, because it is really very interesting to know about these scientific aspects. So you will be really amazed how these things work from basic principles. Okay,
yes, sir.
thank you, Edwin. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Patel. Over to Ms. Nivedita.
Edwin, I I quite enjoyed looking at the cute working model you have made. I'm wondering if you were to attach sound with this, if when the light comes on, with connectivity, a sound also comes on. Some kind of a blip or a ring or a tone comes. How do you think if that light and sound works simultaneously on a similar principle, that when it is dark there is a sound and there is a light? Can you imagine a use of it?
So we actually thought into that. My father was suggesting a burglar alarm also for that.
Uh-huh.
So yes,
Uh, uh.
yes, sir.
I,
Actually, where it is well, when with the LDR, actually,
yeah, you're thinking right. Go ahead, go for it.
yes, ma'am. I'm thinking.
Yeah. So if there's a sound coming in, it can be an alert or a warning sound, which can be for a burglar, and it can also be for a blind person. Like a deaf can see the light coming up, and and the blind person who is blind, if they can hear, they know that's an obstacle coming up. There are so if you have to create
Ma'am,
Accessibility in a mall or in a station, train station, or in a metro station, or even in school for that matter, um, that it you might be able to link the two. What do you think?
actually, what I thought, I mean, the LDR actually it's not used for burglar alarms because the deaf if there's a deaf person, whenever it is dark, then there will be light, and also there will be a sound. So I don't think that is actually useful in any way. So actually, for instead of LDR, if we are using a motion detector, then I think it will be useful as a burglar alarm.
Good thinking. So if you have a light which comes on when it is dark, or a light which comes on when there's a motion, or a sound which comes up when there is a motion, i- if you can manage a trifecta of the three, then that one equipment might be able to handle all kinds of accessibilities. Is that at all a possibility?
Yes, ma'am. Actually, I didn't understand the question quite, so I can't answer.
Good, good. I think that's a very good answer of not understanding a question, because after confusion comes clarity. So give it a thought. I'm asking that if you have one device which comes up, which lights up when it is dark, which lights up when there is a motion, and also makes a sound when there is a motion. Is it a possibility that you have attach one thing which has do these two three things within it, and you put it at various places? It acts as alert for both the disabled and for both as a warning, um, like your father said, as a burglar's alarm. Who knows? a,
Yes,
a,
ma'am. Maybe.
a combination of alert signals.
Yes, ma'am. I think that
Yeah.
is possible. Yes,
think,
ma'am.
think, think about it. You are very young, and your mind is sharp, so you can possibly make a nice little complex little thing which can be just attached to various places. Give it a thought.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
I'll
you're
think about it.
yeah, you're a scientist, you're a project engineer. All the best.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, teachers. A very good thought, Edwin. Your idea will help us to save energy. It is very useful in controlling street lights, car headlights, and traffic lights, etc. Thank you, Edwin. Now I invite Michelle to present our model, ElectroSurge. This model is basically it's a device that generates electricity for street light. Isn't it that not surprising for us? From a device, a street light can be on, switched on. So let's see what Michelle asks. Over to you, Michelle.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Misha. I am in grade 7 and I would like to present my topic on Cap Sci-Fi, which is the electro surge. So first, let us find out why I made this model. So I have made this model because I found out that road accidents are a very big concern to citizens as they are frequent. Now I would like to explain what my model is about. So the electro surge is a model that generates electricity through speed breakers. Now let us find out how I made the model. So the model is made by using the available items at home. Let me show you. So as you can see right here, I have used plywood for the base and for this part of the model. This is the leftover from the interiors of when we were building our house interiors. And then all of these trees are my toys that I just found laying around. I used old chart paper, and I also borrowed all the mechanisms such as the wires, motors, etc. from my cousins. So now let us move on to my journal. So this is my front page of my journal on the electro search. So this is a checklist that I have made to keep track of all that I need to do. I have also made a mind map to know what I am doing. Now let us move on to the design thinking process. So for my whole project, I have followed the design thinking process. They involved 6 steps: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So the first step is to empathize. So for empathize, I made a survey to find out the reasons for road accidents. Earlier, I had contacted my friends, neighbors, and relatives and found out that road accidents was a major concern to them. So that made me make a survey. So the first question in the survey was, what are the major reasons for road accidents? And the options were drinking and driving, sleeping and driving, usage of mobile while driving, overspeeding, and speed breakers. So now let us take a look at the results. So 4 people said drinking and driving, 2 people said sleeping while driving, 5 people said usage of mobile while driving, 6 people said overspeeding, and 8 people said speed breaker. Totally 25 people have replied to the survey. So I have represented all of these responses in percentage in this pie chart. So the next step is define. So after collecting the data and finding out that speed breaker was the most voted, I decided to find out why was the reason that they have all picked speed breaker. So after that I had searched and I had done some research and I had found out that it was because that there was no street lights at night, and this is very dangerous as it not only causes accidents but it can also lead to theft, murder, and kidnapping. So this made me even more curious to find out the deaths due to speeding and speed breakers at night. So I have found out that from 2014 till 2019 there were rising deaths. Hence I have created the electro search. The next step was to ideate and come up with the solution. So now I would like to share my experience that triggered me to make this model. So once I was traveling to my native place, and what had happened was it was really dark as it was night time, and there were no street lights and there were no reflector lights on the speed breaker as well. So we kept on going, and as the car went over the speed breaker in a great force, I bumped my head on the roof of the car. So this is the thing that triggered me to make the electro search. So the next thing that we had to do was make a prototype. So for this I have created a flow chart to know what I need to do. So let us take a look at all the steps. So first, as you can see in the image, the rack and pinion is connected with the speed breaker. When the vehicle goes over the speed breaker, due to the suspension, the speed breaker rotates, the rack rotates the pinion, as you can see right here. Now once the step slowly moves up, the rack rotates the pinion in the opposite direction. As you can see in this image, the pinion is then connected to the generator. Now the generator right here works on the principle of the Fleming right hand rule. It is when the thumb finger points the direction of the motion, the index finger points towards the magnetic field, and the middle finger points towards the current. Thus, electric current is produced in the generator and it can be stored for the street lights. Through this process, we see that mechanical energy is converted into electrical energy. So the last step in this process was to test. So now let us move on to this side, which is the prototype of the problem. So bikes are very prone to such problems, such that there is no street light on the road and there is a speed breaker in front. As you can see, at night many bikes come in great speeds, not knowing that there is a speed breaker, and they can topple over. This can cause serious injuries or it can also lead to immediate death. So it is a very dangerous thing that the electrosurge is solving. Also, cars can come in great speeds, not knowing that there is a speed breaker in front, and they can go hit another car, and this may cause damage to the car, and it can also cause serious injuries to the people inside the car. So to solve all these problems, we have the electrosurge. So let us move on to the solution side. So as we can see here, this is the electrosurge, which is the solution. So now let me explain you how the electrosurge works.
So this is the daytime. As you can see, the vehicles are going over the road, and as they go over the speed breaker, it is going down due to suspension. Do you want to know why? Look at the mechanism right here. There is a rack and a pinion inside, and as I push down on the speed breaker, the rack rotates the pinion. So as you can see here, there is a LED light. This shows that electricity is being generated every time I push on the speed breaker. So now we can see that there is a generator right here. All the electricity gets stored right here in the generator, and then this generator is then connected to this battery, and all the energy is stored in the battery, and which is further connected to street lights. So what happens is that once enough vehicles pass over the speed breaker, at night there is enough light generated. As you can see here, there is light glowing from the speed breaker. So there is enough light generated for the road. So in case the road is not a busy road and many cars and vehicles don't go over this area, we can add solar panels to the street lights to make sure that there is enough electricity, and we can also add sensors to them such that it turns off immediately when the sun rises, such that no electricity is wasted. Now let us move on to all the skills that I have developed throughout this progress. So I have developed four 21st century skills. So I developed communication. I have done this by communicating with my friends, relatives, and cousins by finding out all the problems that they are facing and coming up with a solution. Then I have collaborated with my father to arrange my model and to stick the plywood and cut the plywood together. And I have also collaborated with my cousins as they have given me some materials for my model. I have used the creativity skill in making my journal, which is this whole area. I have represented my full journal through charts. And then I have also learned the critical thinking skill by coming up with the solution. Thank you.
Yeah, that was very well designed and planned, Michelle. Over to Mr. Patel. So I would request you to ask your question to Michelle, sir.
Yeah, hello, Michelle. I think your video I cannot see. I mean, Michelle, have you turned it off the video?
Can you bring the team into spotlight, please?
And I can't see everybody either. I mean,
Sir, my camera is turned in on the other device.
Request, please, to switch into the presentation mode. Okay.
Okay, now I can see you. So to start with one word, I want to start is excellent. From the beginning till the end of the project, the whole presentation, it was purely data driven. I mean, first you really analyzed the problem, and then you made a life saving solution. So and you have a really working model. So I am really very impressed from the overall project. And still one word, excellent, 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 Michelle.
Thank
So
you.
keep it up. Yes. And yeah, no questions from my side for this project. So I am just totally awesome.
Thank you, sir.
Okay. Thank
Okay,
you,
yeah,
sir.
thank you.
Over to Ms. Nilima.
first of all, you did not use a computer presentation and you did it on a wall to present every bit of it. Kudos to you, kudos to your parents, that you took time off to move away from screen and did the entire presentation. That was such a refreshing thing. It reminded me of my own childhood where we used to do this charts, and it took me back 25, 30 years. So thank you so much for this wonderful, beautiful presentation. Clarity of thought was there. The way you analyzed was beautiful. As Mr. Brijesh has rightly pointed out, it was excellent. Yes, you did what you did with a lot of clarity and a lot of thought. I would want to ask you one question, saying that your model is purely based on highways, um, but I would want to ask you questions based on cities, because a huge problem is also there, accidents in the cities. And Bangalore especially has a huge problem of lot of pits. BBMP digs a lot of pits, and our roads are not laid out properly, and heavy vehicles go, and then the pits are formed. And because of that as well, there are a lot of accidents, especially for two wheelers. And streetlights are not there in most of the places either. So how can we solve any of those problems? Do you have any solution for that? Did you have any thought around that?
Yes, ma'am. So, like, in case there are no speed breakers in such areas and there are many potholes, we can go with the thing that has been implemented slowly in other areas, that we can put solar paneled street lights. So it will be able to give light to show that there are no potholes. And in case the potholes is like too much and there are all over the road, then we can make a request to the government to lay down the road properly.
All right. Thank you so much. So I see a politician or an NGO person, a torchbearer tomorrow. Thank you so much, Michelle. I mean, uh, you're really an inspiration. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ms. Nima. Over to Mr. Reza.
Michelle, I loved the way you showed everything. I was imagining a teacher. Uh, if I'm a teacher, I look at people who teach well, communicate well, explain well, and are very persuasive while doing that. So I think I enjoyed, aside from your project, I quite enjoyed
Thank you, ma'am.
listening to you. I'm you keep that up. It's a great skill to have, to be able to communicate simply, clearly, and yet calmly, without complicating the matters. So that was very well done. You must have taken a lot of
Yeah.
time preparing all of this. How did you feel? Yeah, making physical things versus doing it on computer.
Ma'am,
How was your
because of
experience
this
doing that?
pandemic, as we are forced to go with online, I didn't actually want to go with an online presentation, just because I wanted to have a feel that I'm just back in school and it's just a regular Cap Sci-Fi.
Uh,
So that's why I just wanted to do it completely live.
So you actually took over the whole room. Looks like in your house.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, very good. I just want you to think about it. How can it be a good, helpful device for people, for accessibility overall, for disability, because it has a sensor oriented thing. It has a it so how is can you modify this, to help in accessibility as well. So I'd like you to give that a thought. You're a thinking person. Children of your generation, if we can think of an inclusive society, since you are devising science projects, since you are thinking through science, you have a design thinking, and your design thinking, the first step is empathy. So if you could um, include accessibility for various kinds of abilities or differently able, it would be something that you could consider.
Yes, ma'am. I will surely give thought into that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, judges. Thank you, Michelle. It was a great idea. Electro search will help us to save many lives in road accidents and also save energy. Thank you, Michelle. Now let us call upon our next contestant, Sumaira. Sumaira is here to present a charger control. So it helps people by basically overcharging their phones and prevents blasting while charging. Over to you, Sumaira.
Sure, sir.
Cap Sci-Fi charge control. First of all, before beginning with the presentation, I would like to share the process which I did to get this presentation here. The process which I followed was design thinking process, and I included all the 5 stages: empathize, define, ideate, prototype, and test. So just like this, I would like to present my charge control. Due to this pandemic, we had to drastically change from physical world to virtual world. As we had to shift our life, we were totally dependent on phones and other devices. Because of this, we had to frequently charge them to attend online classes, online meetings, etc. But have you wondered if you have left your phone charging unsupervised for a long time, what could have happened? The phone may have been heated up too much, pressure may have exerted, and that could lead to explosion and can cause many injuries to human beings. Although blast injuries are common with war, cooking gas, firecrackers, etc., but mobile phone blast cases when overheated while charging are increasing in number in last couple of years. Here, research tells that the occurrence of this hazardous injury is more common nowadays. Mobile blast or bombard is the word you can hear everywhere in India, from home to office, vegetable market to the shopping complex, and schools to universities. Reports are coming from many places of mobile phones suddenly exploding in hands while charging, causing disasters, consequences in the patient, family members, and society, both physically and psychologically. This was the case when it was some years ago, but now, as you already come to this virtual world, the cases are still going on. This hazardous weapon can easily affect people of any ages. All the reports that are being showcased have a very common effect. A common feature observed in similar cases is that the cell phone were plugged in for charging when the explosion occurred. It is advisable that cell phones are used only when the device is unplugged from the charger. This is usually advised by doctors and people who are been in such cases. But do we think that it's a permanent solution? So this is the graph which represents the mobile phone which have been blasted, the death rates and the injury rates from the year 2012 to 2018. We can see that the blast rates are more in 2017, the death rates are more in 2015 and somewhere near 2018, and the injured rates are more in 2012 and 15. So I, Sumaira, studying grade 7 capstone high, have come up with the solution for this problem: charge control. So this model simply consists of consists of a charger and a mobile phone. If you wonder how I did this, this was due to some applications which I found and some settings. The application was more helpful for me, which supported the problem. So these are some steps which I followed to test and make this prototype. First, we have to insert the mobile to the charging point. Then there will be a notification coming that telling us that time the phone needs to get fully charged. The application which I used was full charge. It can be available in laptops or phones. Right now, I've tested this with phones. Then when the notification comes, there'll be some given time. So we have to wait for that given time. And then there'll be an alarm which will alert us to turn off the mobile phone charger. Now, experimental mode. I want to come to experimental mode. Yeah. Yes. So here is simply the charger which you see, and that charger is connected to the mobile phone which is charging. So I have already pre-charged this phone just to be ready. So when I just on this charger plug, there's a notification coming that the charger shall need like half more minute to get fully charged. Now it's already 99% low. I'm just going to, yeah. Yeah, it's the time is up and it's almost 100%. It's nearly 100%. The alarm's telling that the phone shall need 2 more minutes to get fully charged. So we have to just wait for that time.
So it just takes time, like to just charge up a little. You have to make sure that all the connectivity is here. Just taking time, just a second. Yeah. So I guess you can just hear it coming, the charger. So it's already charged 100% and it's alarming us that we have to charge it once again. So when I just stop this, like when I just switch it off, the alarm stops and it's on. Coming back to experimental presentation mode. I'm coming back to presentation mode. Yeah, so this is how it really projected me when I was doing this. Here you can see that the phone was already charged 99% and it told 2 more minutes to get fully charged. But sometimes it takes time, but sometimes it gets really quickly done. Then just after that, as you could hear there, the sound which was coming, the alarm. Then once the alarm comes, then there'll be a notification telling that full charged, unplug the charger to save energy. So this is my procedure which I followed, and based on design thinking process, I could do this. So first, I decided on the topic which is charge control. I chose this topic as I saw that this was the most common problem, more common problem faced by many people in the society. As this problem leads to many hazardous disasters like burning down the whole electric circuits, it may also infect our brain if you are very near it while charging. Research tells that more than 150 people worldwide can, in a year, face this problem. So that made me more delve into this topic. The second step that I started to think how creative the model can be. As this was the most dangerous problem faced, there had to be a very innovative idea for the solution. So I thought of something very automatic which could help people. So taking this further, I made a model which looked very simple and not so complex to use. Then I came up with a very simple solution. The solution which I found was very simple as I used the normal notification which notifies us that how much time the phone needs to get fully charged. So this way it was very easy to find the solution. Then the first step was collecting data and research doing. To make this problem more evident, I took help from one of my family members who had faced this problem once. But in that case, the phone had only overheated. And even one of my teachers, Suchusmita ma'am, in her apartment had faced this problem, which made me more supporting to do this charge control. I deeply understood the problem and started to work on the solution for it. As I also added some research to find the disadvantages of the problem and include in my presentation. A fifth step was to analyze and analyze the data. I collected some graphical organizers and organized it, because of this, it made my presentation more supporting with the problem. Then I interpreted the data which I got and made my script for the presentation. Lastly, I made the prototype, tested it, explained it briefly. So the main advantage of the problem can be that there won't be any waste of electricity. As this, if we just keep our phone charging and charging, even it is fully charged, then there'll be too much waste of electricity. And it's also a very safe way to use electricity. It's more cheaper, and if it's more in the phones of all smartphones that people use, it's more convenient to use. It can be used in any device like laptops, computers, and phone. Just have to make sure the application is there. So my main intention to make this model was to spread awareness of those who charge their phone for extreme amount of time, which leads to many hazardous disasters. That's the end of my presentation. I hope you liked it. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would request Ms. Nilima to ask few questions to Sumaira.
Hi, Sumedha.
Hi, ma'am.
First and foremost, you have addressed one of the, how do I say, the most important life problem of today's generation, because we don't know when to charge, we don't know when to remove. Sometimes we feel that, oh, I have to charge overnight because I have a meeting to go in the morning. A lot of things. This is how do I say, a very uh, what adjective should I say, unknown problem. So you have given a very beautiful solution to that. So you have taken a very practical problem and you have given a solution to the problem. You know what you should do? You should go ahead and patent your product, because that's how important your product is. And you have presented it very beautifully. You have presented it like a professional. That is what I would like to say. So now you have given me that you have already said that the same model can be applied to the cell phones, to laptops. Can we go a little further, and can we say that, can we use this model anywhere else? Any other machineries? Any other places?
Maybe, yeah, but I'm not sure where we can use it. Uh, like if we try modifying this model a little more, like maybe make some sensors to alarm anything which is fastly approaching, or just something like that.
Okay. Can we have these sensors where, maybe in schools, especially in kindergarten, where children are going out of the classroom, can we use something like that?
Yeah, like maybe we can use it in kindergartens, like which alarm us maybe some child is like maybe
Near
something,
to some electric points.
yeah, somewhere like emergency or something like that.
Yeah. And even in heavy machinery, can we use it? If we modify, can we use it even in heavy machinery to give some alarms?
Yeah, like ma'am, according to me, I think mostly in some emergency places where because this leads to many disasters and blasting of phones and all that. So even that's emergency case. So I guess yeah, we can use it in missionaries and all that.
As I'm speaking with you, I mean, even I'm thinking, I think this could be a very important model in medical equipments, especially life support equipments. I guess this could be an important aspect in those um, elements. I don't know. I'm just thinking aloud, but you can do your research. I'll also do my research because I'm really liking that product. So both of us can think and we can exchange notes a little later. Yeah, but amazing thinking, and the way you presented it, I really loved it.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Over to you, Mr. Patel.
Yeah, hello Sumeda. Yeah, very, very nice project, very nice thought and practical application to save people from overcharging the phone and then saving the life of the people. So is this prototype is it a device or is it an app? What you have developed this prototype?
So
So.
yeah, it's an application which I used, but still sensors are available, sir. Like due to some issues, I didn't get it yet, so I just thought of going with application. Like in that sensor, like there's an alarm which is attached next to it, so it senses it and the alarm is there. But here, I did use the application which is a full charge.
Okay, okay, that's very nice. And have you written the full code of the application yourself? I mean, because developing application requires programming
Yeah,
and
yeah, like sir, mainly I did this to spread awareness, like even for the application which we use, and also for the safer side of doing it. So yeah, yes, sir, I use the application which is full charge. Yeah.
Okay, okay, very nice. And I think as a next step, you can think, because sometimes even people may ignore the warning, because current system what you have made is the warning based. So maybe there can be a further enhancement, which in turn automatically, let's say, breaks the electrical circuit. So as even no need of alarm, once the phone is fully charged, it will automatically shut down the electrical circuit part of the charging. So that could be like next step for you to explore, if it is possible. But overall, thank you for your project and
Thank
very
you,
well
sir.
done.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think due to some emergency, Miss Nivedita have to leave. So I would request Dr. Ratna Ghosh to say a few words for Sumaira.
Sumedha, I am zapped. Such a wonderful idea, and it's a, as Miss Nilima said, it's a real everyday concern, and so many accidents happen because of overcharging. I don't have any question for you. I think the judges have already given their suggestions, but definitely, like Miss Nilima and Mr. Brajesh has said, you have lot of areas where we can explore, and you can work together with all the judges, and we also can give you ideas to explore, and definitely, as Miss Nilima said, you can probably get a patent for yourself. So let us see how best you can develop your idea into resolving a day-to-day issue. Okay,
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so
congratulations,
much.
Sumita.
Thank you. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Sumaira. I would request Dr. Ratna Ghosh to say, like Miss Nilima has to leave because of some other personal work.
Sorry, guys. I mean, I have a product release. My boss is dancing on my head. We are a typical software firm, and I have to. I mean, 5:30. I have to log in. I have 2-3 minutes to jump there.
Sure.
Mm,
Uh,
yeah,
Thank you,
and
Ms. Nilima, for your time. And I think we have two more projects to go. Maybe since it is recorded live, you can probably look at them, and maybe at your convenience, we can get together tomorrow sometime to finalize on the results.
no, no problem. I mean, whatever I have graded them, I will mail across to Dr. Chandan, and the rest of it. I'm feeling very sorry because I'm thoroughly enjoying myself looking at all of this, and I'm feeling really bad that I have to go. But boss is always right, so I have to go. So
Thank you. Since the projects were so good, we also extended beyond our scheduled time that we had allotted for each one of them. But anyway, we would like you to have a look at their recorded videos, and we can probably decide on the results tomorrow. Thank
definitely,
you so
ma'am.
much. Thank you
Sure.
so much once
Dr.
again.
Chandan, if you want my time tomorrow, then my request is that I am available really early. Maybe you can call me maybe at 7:30 in the morning. 7:30 to 8:30, we'll finish that. That's my request to you. Yeah.
Sure, ma'am.
Right. Thank you so much, and all the best to all your students, whoever have to present further. And Mr. Brijesh, nice meeting you, and please continue with this joyful journey from
Yeah,
further on.
same here. Yeah, yeah, nice
And
meeting you.
yeah, Ms. Ghosh, sorry, Dr. Ghosh, all the best to all of your students.
Thank you once again for your support, Ms. Nilima.
Thank you, ma'am. Thanks. Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you for your
Thank you.
early.
Thanks, Dr. Chandan. Thanks.
Yeah. Thank you, Sumedha. Now I call upon next contestant, Harris. Over to you, Harris.
Yes, I'll just share my screen now. Sir, am I sharing? Am I sharing the screen?
Yes, you
Yes,
are.
sir.
Thanks, sir. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Harris Justin from grade 8, and this is my Cap Sci-Fi project for the year 2020 and the year 2021. So the name of my project is So Charger. About So Charger. What is So Charger? So, charger is a device that I created for charging mobiles and other small electronic devices using the energy of a solar panel. Why solar jar? This is made for people who need a charging unit when they don't have access to electricity. This can be used by people who love traveling, cycling, trekking, and other such activities. What are the gadgets that can be charged using surcharger? It can be a mobile phone, tablet, power bank, smartwatches, Bluetooth headsets in earphones, iPods, cycle lights, and etc. So, what is the charging time? It takes hours to charge the device up to 100%. This time is given according to the device battery mAh. This is used in an emergency so that if phone battery doesn't completely die, this can be used to charge electronic gadgets, but since it will consume much more time than usual charger, it'll it'll have a drastic change between the charging timings. So before I started making my project, I used the process called design thinking process. In this, the first step I used was to empathize. So while empathizing, I created a Google Form survey and I contacted as much as people as I could. So I got responses from 23 people, and the first question was, "Do you ride cycle?" The majority was, many of them said yes, and minority of them said no. So after going through this forms, I understood that many of them were facing difficulties while riding cycle, and the phone battery dies in the middle. So since my next step was to define the problem, I started to think how much that problem would have been taken up. So after thinking, my next step was to ideate. After brainstorming, I came up with an idea to use eco-friendly energy wherein I can use a solar panel instead of using a power bank. So my next step was to create a prototype. So the steps I used to create Charger are the following. Materials here I used was 3 solar panels, all of 6 watts. So totally I used 18 watts. I used 2 electrical wires, a car charger adapter, insulation tapes, a pencil box, and a soldering machine. Where did I get all the required items? I bought solar panel from an electronic shop for rupees 75 for one solar panel. So totally I spent almost 225 rupees. Electrical wires took from an old non-working home appliance, car charger adapter from our car, insulation tapes from home, and a pencil box from my old stationery items, and solder machine from my grandfather's tools. Objective. My objective was to create a charger from the energy of a solar panel and use it when you don't have access to electricity. So the processes I here used was attach all the 3 solar panels together using a hot glue gun, connect and solder each panel using a series circuit method. So the series circuit method is something which we use even while using a batteries. So in place of batteries, we are using solar panels. Fix the panels in a pencil box. Process 2. Take the 2 wires that are already attached to the solar panel and connect the other ends to the car charger adapter. Make sure that you connect the wires properly, looking after the positive and the negative of the car charger adapter. The final model looks like this. After fixing it to the cycle, it looks like this. So the first picture shows how it looks when the pencil box is open. The second picture shows how it looks when it is closed. And the third picture shows the adapter. So my next step was to test out. So these are the images of Charger working. So these are the images. So I sent a demo video of Charger working to 23 people, and I asked them to write a small review. So again, I created a small Google Form survey and I gave it to them. So the first question was, how was the idea of using solar energy to charge your phone? So in this, majority of them said very good. So the next question was, would you use charger when you go cycling if it is available? So here, majority of them said yes. Thank you. Now, I'll be switching on to my another camera to show the working. One second, mom. Mom, can you hear me now? Mom, so since there's no sunlight available right now, Mom, I'm using the energy of a normal light. So the light is brought right to the top of it. And this is the adapter wherein I'll be plugging it in. So using the other end, I'll be charging it to my phone. So since it's rainy as well as there's no enough power given, it creates a problem. So in such a way that it's not working, I will show a small video on this. Mom, so this is the video. So it's working now. I'll be showing that. Switching on to my experimentation video. Over to my presentation. Mom, so thank you, Mom. That's it.
Thank you, Harris. Now I will request Mr. Patel to ask you a question to Harris.
Yeah, hello Harris. Yeah, very very nice presentation. And it was a good planning, and also you have data driven project. So and then let's say yeah, it is very much needed sometimes when power is not there. So somehow if we can, let's say, charge our phones using the solar charging available. So one question I have is how long it will
So
take
according to this, it
to
will take
charge a phone
hours.
fully
So
if we.
since we are using only three solar panels and it's only 18 watts, it's taking much more time. So if I'm attaching a bit more, like a solar panel which has capacity of more watts, it will have the capacity to charge the phone within normal charging times.
Okay. And do you think there is a need to adjust because different phones have, let's say, different requirement in terms of the current and voltage requirement. So would you need to adjust as per the different phone model? I mean, does the solar charger need to adapt to each of the device type?
I don't think so, sir. I don't think, according to my point of view, I don't think there's kind of technology which I can create too. So I guess fixing a more solar panel with more capacity can resolve the problem with that.
Okay, yeah, depending upon the need of the device, so how much voltage and electricity it needs. Because nowadays many phones are coming with very fast charging options, so they
Yes,
take
sir.
more electricity and then they charge very fast. So they need lot of uh, uh, ha- voltage
Thank
and electrical energy, and they have that kind of circuit inbuilt. Okay, so overall, very good project, and a working demo which could have been better if it would have been very sunny weather. So unfortunately, it is cloudy weather. So, but very well done, and thank you, Harris.
thanks.
Thank you, sir. Over to Dr. Bush.
Good evening, Harris. I really liked the working prototype that you have made, and I have one question for you. Uh,
Yes.
since you mentioned about it gets charged under solar heating, so does it work as a battery backup, or does it store it somewhere, or it has to be in a continuous run?
No, now it doesn't have a storage capacity, but fixing a power bank to it can resolve the problem, I guess.
Okay, maybe you can look into it, and definitely it's going to be cost effective. The simple method that you have used, and very innovative, simple method that works to resolve a problem of charging. But just look into it, how it can store in case it is needed, because in the case of a cloudy weather, probably, and being in Bangalore, you know how from place
Yes,
to place the weather changes within minutes. So maybe a little backup system can probably help resolve the issue of charging.
yes, ma'am.
Wonderful, congratulations.
Thank you, judges. Your idea of using renewable source of energy for charging mobile phones is a great idea, Harris. Okay. Now I would like to call upon Renuka to present our model air monitoring system. This system will basically detect the amount of smoke, carbon monoxide, temperature, humidity, and also tells us the quality of air. Over to you, Renuka.
Yes, thank you, sir. So I'm just going to present my screen. Good afternoon to one and all present here. My name is Renuka. Today I'm going to explain you all about my project, which is air monitoring system in 5 different aspects. Why I made this project, what does my project do, how to make this project, my journal based on design thinking process, and conclusion. Why I made this project. In a fast growing world, many cities experience heavy air pollution. The World Health Organization estimates that 4.6 million people die each year from air pollution. With that in mind, not being aware of the amount of air pollution and toxics in the air is also harmful to us. Many people often don't realize that their own homes could be filled with polluted air. Many gases are odorless and colorless, which we cannot detect with our human senses. Some gases in this category are very harmful and deadly. What does my project do? My project will detect the amount of smoke, carbon monoxide, temperature, humidity in the air, and also tells the air quality. My project uses air quality sensors and a few low-cost electronics. The sensors will extract air quality information, and the data collected will be represented in real time on the LCD display. And if the air quality reaches to a harmful critical point, the system will trigger the buzzer and a red LED light will be on. How to make this project? Hardware.
You are on mute, Renuka. Can you
Sir,
explain?
you couldn't hear, sir.
You can explain parallelly with the video.
Sir, could you hear the video, sir?
No, we couldn't hear it.
Sir, I'll play it again, sir.
But that's okay. You can explain it. You can explain it. You can explain it. Let the video play. You can explain it live.
Sir, actually, I was on mute, so I didn't check. So the video audio will be heard if I unmute.
Okay, fine.
Materials needed are Arduino board, breadboard, wires, LCD screen, a basic buzzer, MQ7 that detects the amount of carbon monoxide in the air, MQ2 that detects the amount of smoke, MQ135 that tells the air quality, HDT11 that tells the temperature and humidity, and LED and resistors. Software. The code of this project consists of an Arduino sketch which controls the direct communication between the Arduino board and the sensors. Here's how it works. Here's how it works. Once the program is running, the air quality sensors extract air quality information from the surrounding environment. The computer then processes the data and identifies the amount of carbon monoxide, smoke, temperature, and humidity, and also tells the air quality. Then the computer represents the collected data on the LCD screen. The LCD screen is displayed on your left. If the air quality reaches to a harmful critical point, then the system triggers the buzzer and the red LED light is on and the LCD screen displays a skull next to the specific gas. If the air quality is normal, then the green LED light is on. The LED screen displays a heart next to the specific gas. Now I'm going to explain you the values on the LCD display. This is NQ7 COM ppm represents carbon monoxide. Second one is air quality. SMK is smoke. TMP is temperature, and RH is humidity. Now let's test this sensor. First, let's test the smoke sensor. For testing the smoke sensor, I'll be using an agarbatti. As the amount of smoke in the air has increased, the LED light is on and the buzzer system triggers the buzzer and the LCD screen displays a skull. Next, let's test the carbon monoxide sensor. To test the carbon monoxide sensor, we will be using a lighter, diya, and a transparent jar. First, let's light the diya. Then we will place the transparent jar over the diya. When we do this, the amount of oxygen decreases and the amount of carbon monoxide increases in the jar. So we will be putting the sensor inside the jar. Here's how it works. Once the program is done, the transparent jar over the jar decreases and the amount of carbon monoxide increases in the jar. So we will be putting the sensor inside the jar. And the amount of carbon monoxide has increased, the LED light is on, the system triggers the buzzer, and also the LCD displays a skull next to carbon monoxide. Next, let's test the NQ135 sensor, which will tell the air quality. I'm going to be using a lighter. When I bring the lighter close to the sensor, you can see the values increase.
observation, whenever there is a power cut, everyone will frequently on their generators. By my observation, when the generator was on, the amount of carbon monoxide has increased. So I had researched about this and understood that whenever the generator was on, the amount of carbon monoxide increased as carbon monoxide was released. During past few days, there was frequent rain. Due to this, the humidity in the air has increased to a critical point. When the AC was on, the humidity decreased. Because whenever the AC was on, I researched about it and understood that when the AC was on, the AC actually removes hot air from and humidity from the surrounding environment. Whenever all the windows were closed in my house, the air quality always increased to a harmful critical point. By seeing these readings, we can take few precautions to improve the air quality like planting trees, improving the ventilation, etc. This project can be installed in our homes, can create awareness to people about how polluted the air is in their homes. My journal. Emphasize. I conducted an interview of my mother and my sister where I asked them the problems they face and what do they think the society is facing. They had talked about air pollution and the death roll, so I decided that that would be the problem. In this way, I collected data collection. I created a chart of the top 10 countries of the number of deaths due to pollution. So the data is 2019 to 20, and India has the most death toll because the main reason was many people were not aware that their own homes were filled with polluted air. Define. With air pollution in mind, I researched about that topic, and I have decided that my problem statement would be many harmful and deadly gases are colorless and odorless. With our human senses, we're not able to detect or identify this deadly and dangerous gas. Ideate. I brainstormed three ideas and have decided to select my third idea as it is cost effective, practical, and easy to make. Prototype. Here's my representation of my interpretation. This same project in market costs approximately 18,000 to 10,000 rupees. Instead of this, we can create awareness of people for making their own air monitoring system for approximately 10,000 to 1,500 rupees. This project should become a main part of our homes and should be installed in our homes. In this time, the system is very important in every houses. Conclusion. This project will make people aware of the amount of pollution that is there in their homes. This project can be used in IoT applications. This system can be installed in our homes, which can collect data about the air quality in our homes. This system can be used in multiple places. This same project can be made more effective with the help of Wi-Fi. Anyone can make this project as this project is not only cost effective but also easy to make. This project can be mainly used by sewage workers who have been dying due to not being aware of the amount of carbon monoxide. Thank you.
Thank you, Renuka. I would request Mr. Patel to ask you questions to Renuka.
Yeah, hello Renuka.
Hello.
First of all, yes, very nice project, very thought out project, and I think yes, this is the our. So as you know, due to industries, due to the cars, so air is everywhere polluted nowadays, and especially if you are watching news, you must have heard in Delhi the air quality is worst in India. So definitely this is the need of the hour, and I think you have demonstrated a very working model wherein I could see the readings were increasing and giving the correct indicator of the carbon monoxide and other parameters of the air quality. So very well done. So I think yes, this also will be a very good sellable product for the home usage to warn the people about the air quality in their surrounding areas. But maybe one improvement also you can think think of is probably, yes, once people are aware that there is uh, air quality problem, how to, let's say, improve them. So maybe if you can also enhance your project to integrate somehow it with a air purifier, so that once there is a threshold hit, you can let's say turn on the air purifier to reduce these kind of harmful elements. So maybe you can think about it. Yeah, so no questions from my side, just this suggestion on the next aspect which you can work upon. Okay. Thank you, Renuka.
Thank you, sir. I would request Dr. Gop to say a few words on Renuka's project.
Um, uh, Renuka, congratulations, a very well presented project. It is, and I would like to add on to what Mr. Patel said that maybe a support of a device which will help to purify air uh, along with your gadget will help getting us a better environment. And I have one question. You mentioned about IoT. Can you explain to our audience what is IoT?
So, ma'am, IoT is like the full form is Internet of Things. So it is actually like interrelated, internet connected objects. So it collects and transfers data over a wireless network without any human interference.
Okay, and you also mentioned in your presentation that it can be worked with Wi-Fi. So can you explain a little how it works on Wi-Fi?
No, ma'am, like actually now this project is just directly connected to my computer for power source. So for not being connected to a like, for example, if you have to install in a home, you can't just connect it to a laptop. So with the Wi-Fi, you can do it wireless without connecting to any device because
Okay.
the code will be already stored.
I am sure this is going to solve in the years ahead a lot of our issues of uh, polluted air around us. So thank you once again for thinking of such a device.
Okay. Excellent thought, Renuka. It is very important for us to know what quality of air we breathe every day. Your project will help us to rethink our lifestyle in these developing cities. Thank you, Renuka. Now I will invite Samandita to present her project, Miss Vita. She will show how to prepare a mask which can be washed and reused at home at a very low cost. Over to you, Samandita.
One minute. Sir, can you confirm is it visible?
Noted. Yeah, now it's visible.
So good evening to one and all present here. My name is Samriddhi, and my topic for today is Nisi Vita. So Nisi Vita means save life in Latin. So through my journal, I'm going to explain my project using the design thinking process. I worked on a project which upholds the two R's, that is, reduce and reuse. I have figured out a reusable mask. The use of mask is very important in this COVID-19 situation, as we all know. So I thought if I prepare a reusable mask, we all can reduce the use of plastic. In design thinking process, the first process is empathize. So for this process, I created a Google form and then asked people two questions. The first question was, do you feel comfortable to wear mask? If not, why? Many people told that they feel uncomfortable to wear mask because they feel suffocating. Few people told that they are used wearing mask in this COVID-19 situation, so they feel comfortable. And the second question that I asked people was, what type of mask do you prefer? Option A, surgical mask. Option B, cloth mask. Few people preferred surgical mask and few people preferred cloth mask. The second process was define. In define, I thought uh, should I how I could reuse mask, and how can I try to reduce the use of plastic and also make masks available for everyone. The third process was ideate. So I thought here, how could I make a old cloth that can be reused? And how can I also implement this by making an outer layer for a surgical mask? So the fourth process was prototype. So here I used the materials that I used to make the mask was old cloth, needle, thread, elastic, and scissor. So the process that I followed, I took an old cloth and cut the cloth with the measurements of length 22 centimeter and breadth 36 centimeter. So these measurements are important because these measurements are important because to see to that it covers the mask covers our mouth and nose. And then I ironed the cloth, and then I folded the cloth and then stitched the edges, and then I attached a elastic to the mask. Observation. According to the survey, I got to know that in 90%, only 40% of people in India wear masks or use masks. And in that, more than 800 million people in India are considered to be poor. All these people may not be in a position to afford for a surgical mask every day. So I thought if I prepare a reusable mask that can be made at home, we can help the needy and also reduce the use of plastic. In India, we generate 9.46 million tons of plastic waste annually. In this COVID 19 situation, we have produced more than 9.46 million of tons plastic. So I thought if I also prepare a mask wherein it will have a surgical mask attached with a cloth mask, by this we can use the surgical mask for about 2 to 3 days, and after few days we can remove the surgical mask and replace a new surgical mask. By this we can try to reduce the use of plastic. The last process was test. When I used this mask by myself, I felt very happy about it, and I felt comfortable wearing the mask. And when I gave it to my neighbors and relatives, when they were happy about the mask and they told it is comfortable and it was cost free. Um, Conclusion: the lowest cost of cloth mask in online when we go for online shopping is rupees 999, and in if we go for market when we go to market and if we try buying a mask, the cost is rupees 65. But when we try preparing the mask at home, the cost is very low. It is about 10 to 15 rupees. It can be affordable by the poor, and also it reduces the risk cost on the environment by high amount of plastic mask disposal. There will be a reduction in use of plastic mask and reduce in the harmful effects of plastic on the environment. I hope by this we can reduce the spread of virus and help the people. Thank you. Thank you for your precious time. I hope you all enjoyed my project.
Thank you, Renuka. Now let us ask Mr. Rajesh Patel to ask few questions to Samantha.
Hello, Samanvita.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, so you have worked on the need of the hour. So in this pandemic situation, everyone needs a mask. So, have you thought about the durability of the mask? How long the mask which you have designed can be used? Because the mask which I purchased it via Amazon store, but after 2 months of usage, now I cannot reuse it more. So, do you think how long the mask designed by you can work? How long?
So we can use it for 1 month because we'll be washing it as we are using it every day. So it is max to minimum 1 month.
Okay, okay. And have you also studied about the virus blocking capability of the mask which you have designed? Because it is also important to check whether the mask is effective in blocking the viruses or not. So have you also thought on these aspects?
Yes, so for according to this aspect, I have made three layers. So wherein it will avoid the spread, and wherein in other the second process which I followed that wherein it will have a surgical mask also. So the surgical mask has the capacity to block the large particles that contains germs, and the this by keeping them by reaching our mouth and nose, so it will also help us to be keep us away from the virus.
Okay, yeah, yeah, very good. Yeah, so I think yeah, three layers at least to provide, let's say, multiple layers of protection and try to block the virus from reaching into our body. So at least I would love to buy at least one mask from you if you want to sell. Okay, but thank you very much, Samanvita. It was a very nice idea from you, and yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. That's like, let's see what if she can do it at least a smaller scale. We all can be our first customers. Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Over to Dr. Ghosh.
Samanvita, as Mr. Patel said, it's addressing the need of the hour. And Samanvita, I have two questions. So one is, you mentioned about increasing plastic with during this pandemic through surgical masks. What if we make it totally cloth mask in three layers? How will it resolve the issue?
Ma'am, we can try making a cloth mask, but the people who are always in a community where there are many people, so I think if they use surgical mask, it is more preferable. So
Okay.
to in the point of view to reduce the plastic, if there is a outer cloth layer for the surgical mask, we can reduce the use of plastic.
Okay. And you are saying every day washing it and cleaning it, we can use it for 3 months, right? Sorry, 1 month.
Yes.
Okay. Samanmita, you also mentioned that we are in a country where many people cannot afford masks. So, do you have any plan to send it to such people, where it will be of help
Not
as
yet
a
planned.
community service?
Not yet planned about it. As you told, I'll just think about it, ma'am.
Yes, maybe we can take it up as a school project. And if you can guide all your friends to do it, then maybe we can take it up as a school project, and in the surrounding community, we can probably distribute it to the poor people.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. A lovely initiative, Samanvita, addressing the need of the hour. So keep your ideas growing. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
So, Samanvita, I have learned a new word, Nisivita. Your idea will definitely help 100% usage of mask by everyone. I request our head of school, Dr. Ratna Ghosh, to take over.
I take this opportunity to congratulate all of my dear students for such a wonderful, wonderful session presenting your experiential learning through this pandemic. Simple projects, but deep thinking and ideation. We could see how all of you have adapted the 21st century skills in your everyday learning through the design thinking process. All of us will agree that when learning is interesting, it is engaging and enduring, right? The direction of 21st century skills is to foster in students the ability to apply technology through digital literacy, to think critically and creatively, and to develop interpersonal and social skills. The aim of our Cap Sci-Fi 2020 was to nurture these skills apart from assessing your learning through science activities and presentation of projects. I'm proud to say we are achieving our goal in every step of our teaching learning journey at Capstone High to foster these new skills to face the challenges ahead. I really congratulate our science team, Ms. Sumangala, Mr. Venkat, Dr. Chandan, and our middle school coordinator, Ms. Suchishmita, for guiding the students through this wonderful journey of Cap Sci-Fi Senior. We appreciate our parents for their support in this journey. Without your support, parents, we could not have achieved this feat. I really appreciate your presence, Mr. Patel, for being a part of this Cap Sci-Fi team of panelists, along with Ms. Nilima and Ms. Nivedita, who had to leave the platform because of some prior engagement. I think the presentations were so engrossing, and we also kept asking students questions, and we prolonged the time. So thank you, Mr. Patel, for your being here with the students till the end. And I also thank Ms. Nilima and Nivedita for their support throughout the last 2 days of Cap Sci-Fi presentation. I think it is time to review our assessment, Dr. Chandan and the team of teachers. To make it research-oriented, application-based testing mechanisms to identify the knowledge acquisition and build competency. Because I think the pandemic has taught us how to face real-life challenges face on, and the last 2 days, the presentations that we have seen, really, we have to think of reimagining the assessment process. I don't think we should stick to our chalk and talk, and which is long gone, to our textbook oriented studies. I think students have done an amazing journey through Cap Sci-Fi 2020. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, ma'am. Definitely, we need to find different strategies of evaluating students, what is basically they are looking forward. So now I would request Michelle to give vote of thanks.
Good evening to one and all present here. I deem it a great honor and privilege to present the vote of thanks on this wonderful occasion of Senior Cap Sci-Fi 2020. First and foremost, on behalf of all the students, I extend my wholehearted gratitude to our chairman, sir, Mr. Shahbaz Samanth, academic director, Ms. Fatma Shahbaz, our head of school, Dr. Ratna Ghosh, for giving us an opportunity to showcase our scientific knowledge and curious minds in us through a platform like Cap Sci-Fi. I would like to place my sincere thanks to the judges of the day, Ms. Nivedita, Mr. Brajesh Patel, and Ms. Neelima, who graced us with their presence and guidance. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for accepting our invitations and sharing with us your words of wisdom. We have been fortunate enough to be backed by a team of very proactive and dedicated science staff members, Sumangla ma'am, Dr. Chandan sir, Venkat sir, Nisha ma'am and Mridula ma'am, and our coordinator, Ms. Suchismita ma'am, who guided us throughout to make this event possible today. Special thanks to all our teachers for giving us constant support and encouragement. My sincere gratitude goes to all the parents who accepted our invitations to be the judge for our prelims. Thank you for your rock solid support and encouragement to Capstone High. Finally, I would like to congratulate all the students who participated in this event. You all deserve a huge round of applause for your dedicated efforts. Thank you once again, everyone, for the opportunity.
I would like to mention here that the process was very lengthy, and you all have participated through the 3 rounds, and you have presented some amazing projects, which leaves us very little time to decide on the winner. So we will take our time, and we will probably announce the winners by Monday. Congratulations once again to each one of you for presenting such wonderful, amazing projects, new ideas, simple ideas, but deep thinking. Congratulations once again to all the participants.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir, for your time. So I think we would like to end this session with a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Bye.